during Engineers Week. My name is Liesl, Programs Manager at DiscoverE. Presenting today are 2015 Engineers Week co-chairs, Michael Alvarez, Workforce Development Manager from Shell, Terry Howell, President of the American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineers, and Thea Sarr, Director of Programs with DiscoverE. Just a couple of things before I hand it over to our speakers. First of all, this webinar is about 30 minutes long, and there will be time for a Q&A at the end. So if you do think of questions along the way, go ahead and type those into the box that you see in your GoToWebinar window, and we'll be happy to answer any of those questions for you. Also, this webinar is being recorded and will go up on our website, www.discovere.org, so look for it there. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Thea.
Hi everyone. Thanks, Liesl. Give you a quick glance. There was our photos. Mike Alvarez from Shell Oil Company and Terry Howell from ASABE for joining us today as we embark on this webinar. And as I was writing my notes just a moment ago, I thought to myself, 6 easy ways to make a difference. That title is a little bit misleading because we are going to offer you way more than 6 easy ways. We're going to offer you tons of ideas. We're going to offer you lots of resources. They're all easy and they're all going to make a difference, but there's way more than 6. The other thing to know is while it's 6 easy ways to make a difference during Engineers Week, we really look at Engineers Week as an annual call to action to our whole community of partners, individual volunteers, our corporate partners, our society partners, to renew our commitment to engaging students in engineering and to celebrate our achievements in each other. So while it's just a week, we're really 24/7, 365, year-round. So over the course of this next half hour, you're going to hear from Terry and Mike and myself about ways you can help kids discover engineering. We're going to talk about great ways you can celebrate our achievements and celebrate each other. How can we engage more girls in engineering? A perennial question we're asking each other. We also have an amazing program where we're asking you to nominate inspiring educators who are helping us create the next generation of engineers for an award. We're going to talk a little bit about how you can prepare yourself and others to be effective volunteers. And of course, what webinar would be complete without a conversation about how you can spread the word about Engineers Week and engineering in general. So that's just a brief overview of what we're going to do today. And I'm going to turn it over to Terry to dive into our first tip. Terry?
Thanks, Thea. This is Terry Howell with the American Society of Agricultural and Biological Engineers. And I first wanted to just share my excitement for our professional society to be one of the co-partners and lead professional society for DiscoverE this year. It's been quite a privilege for us and something that we're very proud of. And I'm going to cover kind of the first 2 main ideas that we were hoping to share with listeners today. And the first one I want to talk about is how we can help kids and adults discover engineering. And one of the things that Thea said a second ago really, I think, rings home with me and many other engineers around the world. But that's the idea that trying to connect and share the value of engineering with potential engineers is something we need to be doing year-round. And DiscoverE does a great job of helping us focus. That 1 week helps us focus for outreach and other activities. The other 51 weeks of the year. So some of the ideas I'm going to share today are useful during Engineers Week, but they may also be useful at other times in the year as well. So when we think about helping kids and adults discover engineering, one of the great ways that we can do that is by visiting a classroom or any other after-school group or scout troop or other type of activity. And that's something that the company I work for, McKee Foods, does very well during Engineers Week. We send out pairs and groups of engineers to local schools to share about how engineering is used at our company. And as a food company, there's a wide variety of things that we can talk about. And one of the things that dawned on me as I was thinking about preparing for this presentation was that there's kind of a two-way street there. A lot of times, all we need to be is asked. So, if there are educators or group leaders that are listening on the webinar, if you know of engineers or organizations in your area that do engineering, if you make a request for a presentation, I can't guarantee that they'll come through, but I would imagine that almost every case, the engineers would be happy to share about what they do. And the second side of that coin is that a lot of times engineers need to make themselves available. And so that's another message I like to give to engineers is volunteer yourself as someone who can give give a presentation or share what you do. So that's a very powerful way for us to get a message out to potential engineers that are still being educated and growing up. The other area I'd like to highlight is the Future City Contest. And there's a couple of really interesting things about this contest. It's a contest for middle schoolers that DiscoverE puts on, and there are opportunities for engineers to volunteer as mentors. And so there's a chance for them to share their expertise and to guide and to help students understand engineering. But also there's opportunities for engineers and others to volunteer as judges, and those are also wonderful chances for engineers to highlight what they're doing and to, I guess, promote the profession. As we move on to the second slide that kind of illustrates ways to engage those in engineering, there's a couple of things that I think we can also do which are valuable. One of those is to recognize engineers for their contributions. My organization, McKee Foods, does a good job of celebrating Engineers Week with a luncheon that honors the achievements of our group during the year. But the other thing that, probably the main thing that I think is gaining a lot of traction is to use effective engineering messages and tools such as social media just to promote the value of our profession and the value of the things that engineers are doing, around the world. And I think those types of things can really help promote engineering as a career for young people, but also just to make adults and others aware of the value of what we do. So those are just a few of the things we can do. Before I close, I do also want to recognize the New Faces program, and this is an outstanding way that DiscoverE highlights young engineers for the variety of things they do that are solving problems around the world. And in our professional society, the American Society of Ag and Biological Engineers is excited to partner in that program to highlight what our members are doing, as other societies do as well. So those are a couple of things I wanted to highlight on today, and I appreciate again the chance to share about them.
Right. And wait, before we leave that slide, I just wanted to tell an anecdote about the power of celebrating our achievements. This past summer, I was fortunate enough to be in Colorado on a whitewater rafting trip, and my guide was a young guy. He was he had just graduated from college, and we were just chatting between, getting knocked out of the boat by waves. I actually never fell out of the boat. But he asked me what I did, and I said, my job is to encourage kids to pursue engineering, and we do this program called Engineers Week. And he almost fell out of the boat because he was a young engineer at University of Mississippi, and he said, that's my favorite time of the year. Engineers Week is when we can all stand up and be proud, and he said, and we get free pizza. But he said, it's when the campus kind of turns and looks to us, and we just talked a lot about how excited he was to be entering the profession. He was going back to graduate school, and he felt that was his last time to be a river guide, so had that opportunity for him. But I think the power of celebration is one that we shouldn't undermine and really take advantage of those opportunities, because when you can appreciate someone, it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, I agree. But just just to echo what you're saying, it's hard sometimes to stop and just pause for a moment and reflect on the contributions of a profession, and that's why I love the luncheon that our organization does during Engineers Week, because it does cause us to in the midst of our busyness to stop and say, wow, look what's happened in a year. So I think it's great. I think Engineers Week does a good job of focusing our thoughts on those kind of things.
Exactly. And that focusing our thoughts, next slide, Liesl, is part of our next idea for you. We want to know who inspired you to be an engineer. Was it a teacher, a parent? Was it a program like Future City or another program you were involved in as a young person? We want to thank them and acknowledge them on social media and celebrate them and their contribution to the world by encouraging you all to become engineers. So during Engineers Week, a little bit before Engineers Week, we want you to think about, mull it over for the next couple of weeks. Who is it? Could be more than one person. You could have a whole slew of people. And every day you could be tweeting out who inspired you to engineer, and give them a little shout out, a little thank you. If there's a program that you know that's doing a great job of turning out engineers, suggest that they get their alumni or the people involved in their program. We want to make a lot of noise during Engineers Week and just really show it's usually that old adage, it takes a village to raise a child. It takes a village to raise an engineer too. So who are those people that helped you get there? So with that, I'm going to move on to Girl Day. This program has been around for about 12 years now, and this year we're going to be doing a little something different. We are going to be doing a campaign really designed to send powerful messages to girls about helping them try on engineering. There's a little engineer in all of us, and especially a little engineer in girls, and what are some messages and resources we can use to help bring that out in them? There'll be 5 15-second videos talking about the attributes of engineering. That engineers are curious, engineers are creative, engineering is about teamwork, engineering is about opportunity, seizing that opportunity and making a difference in the world. And there'll be an infographic to share on social media, and these videos you can share with young girls. So those will be coming. Girl Day is February 26th. They'll be available shortly before Girl Day, but I think it's going to be a great resource and campaign for all of us to partake in and think about how we can bring out the engineer in the girls around us. And now Mike is going to tell us about some things that Shell is doing around Girl Day.
Yeah, thank you very much. Hello, everyone. Mike Alvarez. I am the Shell's Workforce Development Initiative Manager, and my team is responsible for STEM outreach across the country to raise awareness of the importance of math and science and STEM in general, and to help young students in the middle and high school grade levels understand the importance of STEM and the connection to career opportunities in oil and gas industry, primarily in the engineering and geoscience space. And we do this through our partnerships with nonprofit organizations and organizations like DiscoverE to help us reach those students and connect with those students so that they can understand the opportunities that are available to them in these technical careers and how it fits within our organization. DiscoverE, as I mentioned, is one of our key and valued partners, and we have our CEO Marvin Odom, who is going to support and participate in the Engineering Week activities, as well as attend and participate in the Future City National Competition in Washington, D.C. Some of the things that we are doing during the week to focus on Girls Day is we've partnered with our Women's Network group or affinity group to reach out to young female students at the middle school level and invite them to our one of our locations, one of our facilities, to meet with professional engineers, female engineers at our facility to get kind of a backroom view of what they do on a day-to-day basis and give them some experience and exposure to what it feels like and what it looks like to be an engineer, and in particular a female engineer. They're going to do a number of hands-on activities during that day while they meet with those students. We also have what we call a speaker resource group, and that's a number of female and male professional engineers and geoscience professionals that we tap into. We get a number of requests from high schools and middle school teachers and principals to speak at their schools about engineering careers. And we tap into our speaker resource group to send professional engineers and geoscience professionals to those schools to actually talk about what they do as an engineer. They talk about the energy industry, the future of energy, and also to give them kind of a sense of the different skills and the different things that they could be working on as middle and high school students to prepare to be an engineer or a geoscience professional. Again, you talked about the have lunch with female engineers. They plan to have a session similar to that with the Women's Network group when they invite the students to the facility to have longer engagement and one-on-one discussions with the students during the lunchtime activity. Those are just a few things that we're doing. We reach out to students, female students, and all students, as I mentioned earlier, to try to encourage them during the course of the year. And we just step it up a notch during Engineering Week and get more of our employees involved in helping us get the word out. And as you can tell, as I mentioned, our CEO recognizes this as an important piece of our workforce development. So he is going to be very active in participating and supporting all of these events.
Wow, Mike, you guys are doing so much, and so is Terry. And, that's just two organizations that we've heard from and some of the ideas that they're doing around Engineers Week and Girl Day. And, all of us together are a lot more powerful than any one of us alone are. So it's kind of like you think about the multiplier effect that programs like Engineers Week and Girl Day and some of the other programs you've heard about can have in helping us to grow a new community of innovators and engineers. So, and next slide, Liesl. And part of that growing that next generation of engineers, the people really on the front lines are the teachers, the educators in our classrooms and our after-school programs. And to recognize the work that those folks are doing out there day in and day out with very little support is the DiscoverE Educators Award program. This program's been going on now for 3 years, and we are looking for those educators that are making a difference in students' lives and turning them on to engineering and technology. And the application is available now, today's the 15th, right, or tomorrow. It'll be available on tomorrow. You can come to our website and go to the Awards and Recognition page. But if you know a great teacher who's working internationally or here in the U.S., we want to know about them. We want you to nominate them. And Mike had the opportunity last year to be at our banquet when we conferred the award on last year's teachers, and we actually asked them to do a little roundtable and talk about what they're doing. Mike, do you want to tell people about what that was like?
Yeah, it was pretty inspiring. I mean, if you listen to some of the stories from these teachers and how they're very passionate about what they do and how they go above and beyond to help students understand and inspire them to become engineers, developing special projects to get students excited about those opportunities. And for us at Shell, one of the things, not only do we reach out to the students, but we also work with the teachers and the parents to provide them with resources and to help recognize what they do to help continuing to influence students and inspire students. You can inspire a student to become interested in engineering, but the teachers and the parents are those that actually continue to nurture that excitement and to keep them interested in that direction and that pathway. So recognizing engineers for us, the teachers for us, is really critical, and letting them understand the value that they bring in helping to inspire the students to continue down that path, I think is really important, and we play a big role in that. We've nominated a few teachers through our partners, and we think that that's something that all of you guys should think about doing. Most of these teachers are not looking for that recognition, but when they get recognition like that, they really appreciate it.
It's true. You couldn't. And they also get some cash and some materials for their classroom. So they get the trifecta, right? They get recognized. They get recognized within their larger community. They get some money to keep doing the good work that they're doing, and they all put it right back into the classroom. And then they also get some classroom materials. So think about it. The application is available now. It's due. The application deadline is in March. Nominate 1, nominate 2, nominate 10 teachers. We want to know their stories. All right. So next up is, we've talked a lot about programs. We've talked a lot about the impact you can have on others. And as you're thinking about that, it's also time now to prepare yourself to be an effective volunteer. For some of you who are brand new out there and listening in, you're like, yeah, let me at it. I need those resources and tools to become a better volunteer. For people who have been doing it for as long as I have, for 30 years, every once in a while it's good to step back and say, I think I need a refresher course, and we have them for you. On our website, in our Educator and Volunteers section of the website, there will be 2 resources for engineers. One is Leading Kids Through a Successful Engineering Experience, and that just really walks you through what a classroom visit could look like, how you might want to structure it, what you might want to say, what you want to think about before you go into that classroom. How can you engage those kids so you're making sure that you're being successful and you're being effective. Going hand in glove with just kind of the logistics of setting up a classroom visit is, how do you talk to kids about engineering? What's of interest to them? What should you be saying? How do you open? And here at DiscoverE, we really advocate that it's talking about how you're making a difference in the world, how you're bringing your creativity and your curiosity to work every day, and how you're working with other people to make the world a better place. Those are powerful messages that engage kids. And if those aren't the messages that kind of trip off your tongue, you might want to take a moment and go through this training and think about how you can start to use those words and those messages as you reach out and talk to kids. Each one is, you can whip through them in 15 to 30 minutes, depending on how long you pause and what you do. But they are valuable resources for you. We hope that you find them as valuable as we do. So Mike, you want to talk about spreading the word about Engineers Week and about engineering in general?
Absolutely. I think that's really critical to get the word out, to share information about Engineers Week as well as the engineering profession. One of the things that we're doing, we have an Energize Your Future website. And I think we'll talk about the link later on in this presentation. But that website provides a number of resources for parents, students, and teachers. There's games in there for students, engineering games, career information about engineers and geoscience professionals in the energy industry, scholarship information for teachers and parents, curriculum information for teachers. But one of the things that we're going to be posting on that website, again, Energize Your Future website, is what we're calling an engineer wall. And it's a list of a number of engineers that work at Shell with their pictures, with their photos, and it gives them just gives a brief profile of that engineer, and the engineer provides or shares a few data points on what, or highlights what inspired them to become engineers. So it's a good communication tool for students to tap into as a resource and kind of take a look at the individual engineers at Shell and really what they do and why they decided to become an engineer. So I think that is something that we're doing. I think it's something that others can do, posting an announcement or article in their newsletter, blog, or an email blast across their company or across their organization. Another suggestion or option is advertise on lobby day hallways, monitors at work or school. We're going to be posting a number of flyers online, as well as having a few posters within our facilities, including it in your email signature. If you're interested in, again, sharing the word, just include a little blurb or information about the DiscoverE Engineer Week, what it's about, and how you can leverage the resources that will be available for the teachers, the students, and the parents. Again, we talked about hosting the brown bag lunch for colleagues or fellow students. That's another option. We also have sent communications to our partners about DiscoverE's Engineer Week and activities, and kind of sharing with them what we're doing and making suggestions to them, some of the things that they can do in spreading the word and participating with students and participating in the week. And then also, and that's with our partners across the U.S. So we're trying to reach as many individuals as we can, and I think looking at how you can do the same thing would be important and really beneficial and valuable. Also adapting existing engineering education programming resources. Again, I've shared some with you. Our Energize Your Future website is a good website to get information and to share information with others. So I think you can leverage that, and there's some other opportunities that you can leverage. I think we'll be talking about that later in the presentation.
Yeah, this is Terry. I'd love to echo a few thoughts there as well. Representing our professional societies such as the agricultural and biological engineers, we try to promote our profession through our website and through contests and other things that our students and members are doing. And so there are opportunities for us and other professional societies to highlight the work of our engineers and to spread the word about their contributions to solving problems. And so our website routinely will profile members and just highlight their activities, much like Michael said, kind of let you know who they are away from their work, as well as what they do in their work. And we have for the last several years been using one of our publications to highlight the breadth of our profession in a way that's attractive, trying to reach out and attract students. So I'm sure ours and other professional societies can take advantage of those opportunities to promote our profession as well. So.
Thank you both for all the wonderful work you're doing to promote engineering and to promote Engineers Week, and I hope you guys all of you out there got some good ideas on spreading the word and all the other tips. I told you there was going to be a lot more than 6 tips on easy ways you can engage in Engineers Week and Girl Day this year. Now I'm going to take just a few minutes and go over some of the resources that are available to you. And the first place to start is always to get started and to look around your place of business. Are you fortunate enough to work at a McKee Foods or a Shell Oil that does a lot of this stuff, or a Northrop Grumman or a Lockheed Martin, and some of our other big partners out there, Bechtel, who are doing Engineers Week all the time? Or are you going to bring this to your workplace or to your engineering association? So check in, see what people are doing, and ask how you can get involved. And if it's not happening, ask, can we do something? And here are some resources that you can do it with. First off, everything I'm going to tell you about in the next few minutes, you can find on the DiscoverE.org website. So if you want to go over there now and kind of tool along while I show these resources, please do that. First up is our annual theme. Every year we have a theme for Engineers Week, and this year is no different. And it is Engineering New Horizons. And that actually speaks to both of our missions of celebrating engineering, because engineers are the folks out there engineering, the new horizon and taking us to tomorrow, and also to our mission of engaging K-12 students and to get them to explore engineering. They're engineering a new horizon. They're engineering their future, and how can you help them engineer their future? So, use this theme. We spent a lot of time coming up with these themes. You can use it in announcements and articles and blog posts, press releases, photo contests, however you want. Feel free to utilize that message. Next up is our posters and our kits. If you have not ordered your Engineers Week or Girl Day poster, it is not too late. These posters and kits are beautiful. That is this year's Engineers Week poster, and you can see the theme right there at the top, Engineering New Horizons. In the kit, there's bookmarks, 4 new activities, and you can download this artwork right from our website. You can order it from our website, and you can either have a printed poster or you can do just the download the artwork. But if you do order the poster, hang it up in a busy place. Put it up in your workplace cafeteria, or anywhere that there's a lot of traffic. Maybe your lobby, if you're allowed to decorate your lobby. I don't know if that's actually kosher in a lot of workplaces, but maybe for Engineers Week. Next up is we have a searchable library of hands-on activities, and every year we add activities, and this year is no different. There are 4 new activities in there for you to cull through and look at, and you can sort by age, discipline, time. You can also, over 10 of our activities are available in Chinese, Arabic, Spanish, French, German, and a number of other languages. So if you're doing work internationally or doing work with a population of people who aren't native English speakers, definitely check out the international translations we have of these activities. Next. So maybe you're going into a high school and you want to do a presentation on what is engineering, but you don't have time to put one together. Have no fear, we did it for you. We have a turnkey career presentation that you can use. We designed it for academic career counselors, but no one needs to know that when you're presenting it. You can take it, you can customize it. It's full of videos featuring engineering undergrads, and it's all written from the perspective what they wish they had known about engineering. What someone could have told them in high school that would have gotten them interested in engineering. So take a look at that. You can download it, use it, and tell everyone it's yours, because we're never going to come after you for that. Also, want to do more promotion around Engineers Week and Girl Day? We have beautiful ads in both color and black and white. You can download these ads and use them in your newsletters or in anything that you are doing that you want an ad for, or even if you don't want an ad and you just like it, you can download it and use it. But they're there for the taking. Next up is our photo library. We know how hard it is to find good, engaging photos of people doing engineering or kids engaged in engineering, or even a photo that you can use to brand with your outreach activities. Our photo library has over 50 free and downloadable images that you are more than welcome to use in your PowerPoint presentations or in your promotional efforts. If you have to make a flyer or you have to make a poster, feel free to use these images. The only thing we say is you can't use them in a commercial on television. So, but other than that, they're available to you. Next up, program logos. So we have these beautiful Engineers Week logos. We have them with the date. We have them without the date. We have them horizontal. We have them vertical. We have them as JPEGs. We have them as PNGs. More than you could ever imagine, those logos are there and available for you to, wait for it, download. And everything is for the high price of $0. We don't charge for any of this. Our wonderful sponsors, Shell and ASABE, and all of the other supporters of DiscoverE have made it possible that we can provide these materials free to help you as you are embarking on your efforts to engage student engineering and to celebrate the field of engineering. Take a moment to look through that list of sponsors, and next time you see them, thank them, because these are resources that they're providing to the whole community, not just to their employees or the members of their societies.
Hey, also, just to piggyback off of Terry, I think there's quite a bit of information out there also with the societies, engineering societies, and you have a number of engineering societies that we partner with, like NACME, which is the National Action Council for Minorities in Engineering, NSBE, the National Society of Black Engineers, SHIP, Society of Hispanic Professional Engineers, the Society of Women's Engineers, and the Society of Asian and Scientist Engineers. I think all of those engineering organizations and others that are out there can also provide some information and really good programs or resources for you to tap into and leverage. So just wanted to share that. I wanted to echo what Terry was saying.
Exactly. And societies, we like to say that we're a coalition of all the E's. You know, that nice list you had and more, civil engineers and mechanical engineers and electrical engineers, and they are members of the coalition and help us create these materials and share them with the community at large. I think that was good to put a little underline and an exclamation point behind that. Thank you, Mike, for that. Next up is our second to last resource, social media. We are all over social media, Facebook, Twitter. We talked to you about Instagram, and those are our hashtags down below, and we're going to be doing a lot with the Inspired to Engineer campaign. So if you start to follow us on Twitter now, you'll get reminded about those campaigns, and we'll talk about Girl Day and post any pictures you have from events you're doing on Facebook or Instagram. We'd love to see it. Also, we have a robust calendar on discovere.org of local events. So if you have a local event and you want more people to know about it, post it to our calendar. Also see what other people are doing. Get ideas from what other people are doing around the country. See what that community's like. And then our next to last slide before we go into questions are some upcoming events. I can't remember if it was Terry and Mike who talked about new faces. Sorry. But we will be announcing the nominees on February 19th of the New Faces of Engineering and the College Edition applicants. It's going to be fun, engaging. We're going to talk a bit about who inspired you to engineer. And we're also going to talk a lot about how volunteering has advanced people's professional careers. So all the work you're doing with volunteering has an impact on your career. So come and join us for that conversation. Also coming up is the Inspired to Engineer campaign that will run during Engineers Week and beyond. Also, our global marathon, By, For, and About Women in Engineering and Technology, is a free 3-day virtual conversation with women from all over the world, and they discuss issues that transcend borders. We have lots of good topics, and they're going to be on our website soon. And then, as Mike was mentioning, Shell's Energize Your Future, Celebrate Engineers Week. There's all kinds of great resources there. You can meet Shell engineers and learn what inspires them to do what they love. So now I'm going to be quiet for a minute, and Liesel's going to facilitate a question and answer period.
So we received a few questions about the availability of the presentation after the webinar. So we'll load the PDF and the PowerPoint presentation and the recording of this webinar on our website directly. So Thea, I have a question here about using the DiscoverE logos.
Sure. So the DiscoverE logos are available for use to promote your Engineers Week programs or your Girl Day program or college edition program. So you are free to download those logos and use them. Obviously, you know, if we don't want to have you use those logos for something that's not around Engineers Week, but if you want to promote Engineers Week, you know, on an internal video screen in your company, you are more than welcome to download those logos to make a slide. You could also download some of the images and make a really, you know, a really effective and an appealing slide. So use them how you need to promote Engineers Week. If you want to use them on your website, you can do that. You can also hyperlink them back to our website for resources if you want to direct people there.
So we have a question about the Educator Award, and the question is, can we nominate an elementary school teacher?
Unfortunately, the Educator Award program is limited currently to 6th to 12th graders, the teachers who teach in those age spans. We've talked about expanding it, but that might come down in the future, but currently it is 6th grade through 12th grade educators.
Thanks, Thea. I have a question here from Jasmine from San Diego. Has anyone hosted a session for adult non-engineers, and do you have any recommendations? So Mike or Terry, do you have anything? Have you planned a session for non-engineers?
This is Terry. You know, that's a great question, and I'm not aware of or seeing a session like that coordinated. You know, I think that, you know, maybe the best option might be to try to connect with a local university that would be celebrating Engineers Week, because I'm going to guess that their organizing group would probably have some options and ideas for ways to engage adults who are, you know, maybe interested in the profession, you know, at an age, you know, that's beyond, you know, a typical college student or something like that. So that might be my first bet. The other thing that might be an option, I know where I live in Chattanooga, Tennessee, there's a local engineers club, and it's a very broad-based club, and they meet weekly, and are always welcoming to people to come and sit in on their discussions. They have a speaker at lunch and that type of thing. So so there may be a club like that locally that's not necessarily affiliated with a professional society, but kind of serves the local engineers in the community. And maybe lastly would be to check into the engineering professional societies that may be of interest, and see if any of the local engineers from those professional societies would want to help. Like I said earlier, a lot of times I think engineers would be happy to share about what they do and how they got to where they have gotten, but they just need to be asked. And so you can probably find them through some of those professional organizations, and I hope that that's helpful.
Mm-hmm. And this is Thea. When in a past life, when I worked at WGBH on the Nova television show, we did something called Science Cafes. And it's not just science, it's science and engineering. And they happen all over the country. They're organized locally. You can go to sciencecafes.org. And what it is they send scientists and engineers into, wait for it, bars on a Monday or Tuesday evening. And it's promoted. And the scientist or engineer will talk for about 15 minutes on their research or what they're doing, and with no PowerPoint slides, and usually a beer in their hand, or a glass of, you know, water if they're don't indulge, and then they open it up for conversations. And these sessions have anywhere between 50 and 100 people regularly at them. You know, people come on a Monday night. They want to hear what you have to say. They want to know what you're working on. So check that out, because that is a great way to engage adults in understanding more about what engineers are doing and how they're impacting our world.
We have a question here from Annette. Do you have a date as to when the 15-second videos will be available? We're hosting an Introduce a Girl to Engineering Day at our company, in mid-February and would like to review for our agenda.
Okay, so they're being filmed tomorrow, and we will go into post-production, so they should be available. They might not be available if your event is in mid-February. This was a late-breaking idea for us, so we're scrambling to actually make it a reality. But we will be, everybody who registered for this webinar, we will send an email when those videos are ready and where you can find them. So hopefully they'll be ready for your event. Fingers crossed. It just depends on how fast post-production goes.
Great, thanks. So do you have anything else to add, Mike or Terry, before we end this webinar? We've run over our time, so if you have anything else to add, it would be great.
No, I don't. I think it's going to be an exciting week, and hope that everyone that participating in the webinar participates and supports it and connects with students and engineers to help promote the career opportunities and help raise awareness.
Yeah, I agree. I just appreciate the chance to share about how engineers are making a difference and how people can connect with our profession, and appreciate everyone participating.
And thank you both so much, Mike and Terry, for your support and for giving us your time today and your expertise to share these tips with everyone. I hope if anyone needs anything or has any other questions, please feel free to email us at info@discovere.org, and you'll either hear from me or Liesl or Karen or anyone else on staff who can answer your questions. So thank you, and happy Engineers Week, everybody. Bye-bye.